Hi everyone. Today it's about the retrogression for the year 2022. In this video, I'll be talking about retrogression in general, the retrogression of all the planets in 2022, their timeline, with the importance of stationary degree, the house and the sign signification of retrogression, along with retrogression of each planet in brief. Retrogression is a natural occurrence and happens every year for all the planets except Sun, Moon, and also Rahu Ketu, as their natural motion is already retrograde. It is an apparent backward motion of the planets, which is not actually happening in the sky. It is like you forgot to take something while moving out of the house and you go back and take that. So, when a planet goes retrograde, it transits back to finish something that it was missed earlier. There is a very clear focus to go back and finish that task. You have been given that second opportunity to reflect, rethink, or redo something. You can think of all the re words like regain, relocation, review, revise. As it is not an actual event, the impact is more internal or psychological. We feel that way. A planet is perceived to be retrograde when it is far from Sun and is closer to the Earth. Retrogression is neither good or bad, but retrograde planets are very powerful. They act 100% on their natural or original signification without any influence, as it is not in the command of the Sun, the king of the solar system, as they are far from the Sun. So we can think of a person without any boundaries or limitation. A class is without a teacher, or an office is without a boss. There are no rule books here. The planet is self-governing, and that makes it strong. The experience and the expression of this planet, the retrograde planet, is very unique. There are three major impacts when a planet is retrograde. There is slowness, there is repetition in the task, and thus there are delays but no denials. The purpose of a retrograde planet is to master that area where it is retrograding. So expect gradual progress and a great opportunity to gain a better understanding of the area signified by that planet with all those repetitions. So initially there can be difficulty expressing the energy externally, or there can be a mental block resulting to stop and reconsider the consequences. And every year we have certain planets going retrograde, and with each retrogression there is a definite lesson to be learned for our own growth. Mercury gets retrograde 3 times a year, Mars and Venus once in every 2 years. Early this year we had retrogression of Venus in Capricorn and in Sagittarius. We also have Mars retrogression towards end of this year in Gemini and Taurus. Surprisingly, we have retrogression of all the slow moving planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto every year for about 4 to 5 months. In a way, those outer slow moving planet significations need the most reworking and reflection. And the most active time of reflection is when a planet is stationary, and that happens 2 times. Before starting retrogression, the planet stops, and before starting its direct motion. The stationary duration for each planet is different. For Mercury, it's sometimes few hours, Venus and Mars for couple of days, and the slow moving planets stations for 4 to 5 days. A planet slows down or pauses to remember something, its past experiences where it couldn't act appropriately. Retrogression is a time to withdraw temporarily from the situation to understand it better. It is the right moment to step back and observe the situation from a different angle in a quiet corner. For this year, since February, we have been having a time of all planets direct. But now, with end of April, with retrogression of Pluto, we are done with all planet direct impact. Now with Pluto retrogression, we are starting with retrograde season. One by one, all the planets will get retrograde. You need to focus on the house and the sign of the planet. But most importantly, the degree at which the planet gets retrograde, as that's where a planet is stationed. That's where a planet takes a pause and remembers something which it missed earlier in its direct motion. So, if we check the degree of station or a pause for each planet, then Pluto, Mercury, each 3 times of its retrogression, then Saturn, Neptune, and Mars has its stationary degree at around 1. Watch the numbers in red in this table. We also have first lunar eclipse at 1 degree of Scorpio in Vishakha Nakshatra on 16th of May. So if any of your natal planet or cusp is between or close to this 1 degree with plus and minus 2 degrees, then retrogression of these planets will be eventful for you. More so if you are also into the running dasha period of these planets. Do not get into good or bad impact. It's time for reflection. Do something right which you couldn't do earlier. Second important degree for this year will be 14, where Jupiter, Mars and 2 times Mercury is getting stationed. Check 14 degree with plus or minus 2 degrees in your natal chart. The yellow highlighted I'm talking about. Third crucial degree for this year will be around 24 degrees, where Saturn and Uranus is getting stationed. Saturn has also aspect on this transit Uranus. Watch the bold black in this table. So any planet or cusp close to this 24 degrees with plus or minus 2 degrees will be significant, as this retrogression can bring some radical and unexpected changes. We also have another lunar eclipse on 8th of November 2022 in Bharani Nakshatra at 22 degrees, which will be close to this 24 degrees. With all these analysis, I want to draw your attention to the point of reference which can be important to interpret and know the likely impact of all these retrogression. Further, check the signification of the house and sign of the retrograde planet. The cusp or the house will give you a fair idea where you need to reflect, and the sign in which the retrogression happens will tell you how you will probably feel or experience those energies. Here I have shared the most general signification for each house and sign for your reference. So for example, if the retrograde planet is in the 5th house in Taurus sign, then the significance of the 5th house, like children, talent and creativity, along with the sign signification of Taurus like family, finances and values, will get triggered. Finally, check the running dasha planet, sub period or even sub period planet, and that planet will be the most significant one to give the impact. Also integrate these significations with the planet who's getting retrograde. The retrograde planet will indicate what type of energies are at play and what will get impacted because of that. With Mercury retrogression, the question arises on your communication, your logical thinking, intelligence and reasoning. It will test your patience. Retrograde Mercury will teach to work on your thought process, communication, and will help you to balance and express in the right manner. Interesting fact about retrogression of Mercury is every year it retrogrades 3 times in one element for about 20 to 23 days. For this year, it is the earth element. So, the significance of the earth element would be reflected more, and also the lessons attached with 2, 6, 10, the Artha trine. For this year, all the material matters, finances, your valuables, career, work zone, business, health, and family will be having a lot of thinking, correction, and action. Each year, we have been given an opportunity to reflect on one area of our tendencies or nature based on the element where this Mercury is getting retrograde. In 2021, it was air element. In 2023, it will be fire element. Then with Venus retrograde, it's all about the way you express your affection, your care. It can be challenging for love matters or even finances. It can be a test of your temptations, can either give you healing in your relations or can bring closure to it. Venus's retrogression teaches self-esteem and best time to reassess your needs with proper evaluation of your values, love and pleasure. Venus has a cycle of 8 years where Venus comes back to the same place while in retrogression. Then, with Mars retrogression, your passion, energy, and desires are questioned. Also, your courage and impulsive nature. You may doubt your stamina to endure and fight when Mars is retrograde. Its retrogression teaches to work on your temper, aggression, and encourages to think twice before taking any action. Then, with Jupiter retrogression, it's all about handling new opportunities, how you can push your luck and expand your knowledge, wealth, and abundance of life. Its retrogression teaches to work on your reliability on the luck part. Remember your teachings and the importance of fulfilling all your promises. Then, with Saturn retrogression, the question you need to ask is about your responsibilities, your ambition, discipline, limitations, fear in your life, and your sufferings. Its retrogression teaches to work on being organized and committed, be duty bound, and how consistent you are in what you do. With Saturn, it's always about time for results of your past deeds. Generally, Saturn gives slow results, but with retrogression, you may experience instant result of what you do or you say. Now, talking about the slowest outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, who has more of global or collective impact. With these outer planets, it's not about individual or personal matters. It's something about everyone, society, and community in general. Some collective matter which impacts us personally and has an impact on our soul. Like we experienced COVID in 2020. So the impact of these planets will be on a larger scale. With Uranus retrograde, reflect on where in your life you need unique approach, some innovative ideas, some out of the box thinking which can get you out of your comfort zone. Its retrogression teaches to be adaptable with new and innovative ideas, having freedom and working on self-imposed restrictions. With Neptune retrogression, rethink about where did you lose the touch with reality, about your intuitions, illusions in life, and what you were trying to escape. Its retrogression teaches to work on your false dreamy visions and imaginations, teaches to be practical and live in the present. With retrograde Pluto, you will be forced to evolve, transform, and surrender your ego and change what you will never thought about changing. It will make you feel powerless and you may lose your control. Its retrogression teaches to work on your obsessions and bring the truth, reality in front of you in the most unexpected manner. Pluto heals the hardest way. That was all about the impact of all the planets while in retrogression. To summarize, a planet goes retrograde for a specific reason. A retrograde planet is a force that comes back to do something which it failed to do in the past. All the retrograde planets helps us to work on something in our lives and can be seen as a chance to upgrade to our higher self. Retrogression takes us back, will force us to remember the past and encourages to use those past experiences in the present to make it better. There are no straight answers with these planets, and we need to do this repeatedly to get it right. This can be a sign of wisdom and strength for our own great success. Do make most of this retrogression for your growth. I wish you all the best. Thank you for your time. Do write in your comments and queries, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you.